Okay. So I have here the Lover's card. The depiction is very different here, but this is the Major Arcana. Number 6, which is the Lover's card, choices and trust, okay? So choices, excuse me, and the 7 of Cups, choices and options, mulling over, all the things that could be, all the things that we want to come in, to manifest and to come into being for us. So both of these are about choices and options. And then I also have an energy here of temptation, okay? We have here the Shadow card, and the Shadow card is the Devil card in the traditional Rider-Waite deck. This is about things that we have a really strong affinity to, a pull towards, that we feel might not be completely good for us, but nevertheless, we are very drawn towards it. And then with the 7 of Cups as well, this is about temptation, okay? Looking at our options and being tempted by other options. So, needless to say, I feel like it's going to be a very exciting month. I'm hearing the word juicy. So there might be juicy gossip, juicy details, juicy, love affairs, juicy love advances, okay? And so I feel that it's going to be it's not going to be boring. It's not going to be boring at all. So let me talk to you first about the imagery that came out when I was shuffling the cards. And the word that I heard was a feast, okay? And what I saw was, it looks like it looks like a scene on a boat, like on a cruise ship, long ago, like probably in the early century. So like 1911, 1920, around that time period. You have this man, he's at a dinner table at on a cruise or in a very extravagant restaurant, right? So he's got a suit on, a tuxedo, like a black and white tuxedo on. He's dressed really, really nicely. He's about 30 years old. And he sits down at a table with tablecloth. And the waiter, and I just cannot express how decadent the environment is. I mean, it's got tablecloth. It's a fancy dining place. And the waiter comes in with the wine list and comes in with the special. And the waiter is just like, what would you be having today, sir? It seems as if the waiter has seen him there many, many, many times. So this is a man that, has a lot of wealth. And he's able to afford dining at this really extravagant restaurant or venue on a regular basis. But I do see that he's there by himself. But he's able to be there. He's able to have the money and the resources in order to dine there. And the waiter's just like, what will you have today, sir? And the man says, I want everything. Okay, I want everything. And this is... So it happens that this is a seafood restaurant. That's what I feel. And so the waiter comes back a moment later, possibly like 15, 20 minutes later, once the food have been prepared. And he comes in with this platter. It's a huge platter. It's enough to feed a couple of people. But he brings it to the man's table. He opens up the lid. And you see a lobster in the middle. Oysters on the side of it, oysters on the side. And then there are, a variety of dipping sauces. And there are also different platters with different types of seafood prepared in different ways. Okay, so I feel like, he's ordered a feast. He's ordered a lot of things. And he does it because he can. Because he has the wealth and he has, the resources in order to do so. I don't see him eating it. The scene just cuts out. So, first of all, let me talk about this whole concept about a feast, okay? And I feel like it's really drawing my attention to a feast or famine type of an environment, okay? I feel like you're that man. you're that man in the nice clothing, the tuxedo, in this really beautiful, extravagant restaurant. And you told the waiter, I want everything. Okay. And I feel like there might have been a period of time in your life where you wanted everything, but you couldn't have everything. Maybe out of financial constraints, maybe out of a sheer sense of discipline, or maybe the opportunities were scarce, or maybe you were operating from a place where you were, denying yourself of nice things, of extravagant things, because you thought it was frivolous, right? And so I feel this concept of feast or famine, I see a lot of people who might be in the, like the fitness industry where, you have to present yourself a certain way. So you might have to go on binge dieting, like heavily monitoring your water and your food intake. And so there might be bouts of time where you're binging a lot on certain foods to bulk up. And then there are times when you're, required to drastically lose the weight or tone up or shape up in some way or some fashion. And so I feel like, there were times where you had to eat, and then there were times where you had to like slim down. And so I feel like it's work related for many of you. I also feel for many of you, you might have been literally working really, really, really hard. Okay. The things that that were given to you, or I'm sorry, the things that were in your life were things that you had to work hard for, sweat and tears, like the whole concept of like things were not handed to you on a silver platter, and you had to go out into the world and hustle and scramble for all your resources. And I feel that, things were like in flux on some days. The going is good and you might make a really good sell. And then on other days, it's like a famine where it's a drought. Like there's just no customers, no sales. And so I feel that because of it, when you are in a good position, when you feel that you could have a lot of resources, when you have a lot of resources, you feel like, I deserve this. I'm going to splurge. I'm going to binge. I'm going to buy the things that I have been depriving myself during times of famine. And so that's what I'm sensing. So I feel like there's something here where things are heavily in flux, okay? And then I also feel, the whole concept with seafood and oysters and things from I guess from the realm of water, animals that dwell in the realm of water. I feel like this is definitely an emotional feast, For some reason, they want me to let that sink in with you or let that sit with you for just a moment, an emotional feast. Hence the whole concept with temptation and, an emotional draw towards a specific thing, a specific person, someone who's very alluring, something that is from the realm of water, potentially, out of our league. Okay, so out of our league, like the leagues of the sea, it's a measurement unit. So some out of our league, or somebody who's like traditionally not somebody that we think we would be able to attain, we would be able to have. And then all of a sudden they give us a lot of attention and we're just like, oh my gosh, And then I'm also hearing as well, with this emotional feast, I'm hearing as well, like emotional eating and emotional binging, wanting to fulfill a deeper part of our emotional needs with food, with substance, with things, and an emotional void, an emotional need cannot be fulfilled with things. Okay. And so that's for a very small minority, but I feel like the whole imagery is very decadent. It's very sensual, and it is also really tactile. Okay. I'm drawn to the oyster, like the hardness of the shell is contrasted by the softness and the softness and the sliminess of the insides. Okay. It's something that is really hard on the surface, and it is very slimy in the center. I feel like you're dealing with someone like this, where they're very, very hard up. They put up a wall. They are very cold and possibly, abrasive on the surface. But inside is this, gooey, soft middle. So it indicates to me somebody who has a really soft heart. And I feel like the world has made them very hard. Life was hard for them. This could also be you, Libras. Okay, so I feel that, you're very diplomatic. A lot of Libran people are just very diplomatic, and you show a really nice face. But I do feel that you are skeptical. Okay, you're skeptical about, about people's intentions, about life. And I feel like when you're dissatisfied with something, you voice your opinion, okay? You will get angry, and you will be able to say, like, exactly why that bothers you or why you're discontent. And so I feel like there might have been, periods of famines where you're just like very discontent. And so we're coming into this like bubbling spring, the springtime of your life. And what I'm seeing as well is with this whole concept about, that gushy center, feeling your heart soften all over again, and being able to live your life more from that heart space rather than letting that abrasive, hard, I feel like, gritty outside or exterior get to you. Okay? So it's a very, very central type of a reading, and I'm going to talk about, the cards individually. So first of all, moths to a flame. Okay, so I have here, this is the Five of Cups, and it's also the firefly. Okay, so this is like a flicker of light, somebody sending out their intentions, making their intentions known, drawing attention to themselves, and especially, winged animals, especially insect. They are messengers. They're all about being able to communicate. And I feel like there is an emotional message here that somebody is communicating to you. But I feel that they have that hard exterior about them. They might have been burned in the past. They might be a little bit shy. They might not know how you are responding to them. They might not know how you feel about them. They might be very hesitant about your ability. They might be very hesitant about how to initiate contact. Okay, so it's not like a calling, like, I can pick up the phone, or I can text you, or I can, shoot you an email. It's not that simple. I feel that it's somebody who is at odds with their emotions and how they feel about you. And crowning this is the Hangman, which is waiting, a state of suspension, waiting waiting for information, waiting for a situation to turn around, waiting for some type of a breakthrough so that we understand what we need to do. And with this praying mantis, once again, female mantises, they when they copulate, they eat the heads of the male mantis, okay? And so once again, the whole concept about eating, and also I just feel like, the imagery surrounding this is there's an element of risk and danger and, losing face, okay? Literally losing your head, losing face, not wanting to reach out to somebody and have it on read, where the other person read the message, but they don't respond, not wanting to be embarrassed. So I just feel like you're dealing with someone who's not really sure about how you feel about them. And they are as well they might be very confused about their feelings. They might be feeling things and all their emotions are very bunched up, and they don't really know where to begin. Okay, it's like fumbling in the dark. That's what this Five of Cups feel like to me. There's not enough light, even though the animal is casting light or drawing in light. but you're only seeing like, kind of like Morse code, like sparks of light. It comes and it goes. And it's not enough light to guide you, to show you the way. And then furthermore, we have the moon, which is all about confusion. It's all about this really nebulous sense of emotions, okay, like emotions overwhelming us, feeling things on a very like empathic psychic level, including feeling things on a very deep emotional level, but we can't really make sense of it. Things are foggy, things are hazy. We're navigating an environment that can feel really uncomfortable because we can't really see what's, 2 feet in front of us. And so I feel like there is a situation here where someone is feeling things so strongly about another person. It's a mixture of really complicated feelings, love, hate, I feel, and unexplicable, like wanting somebody, but at the same time, it's like, oh no, that's not, my usual type. Or that's not, that person would never go for me. Or even, it's like falling in love with someone who you would classify as an enigma. It's someone who is mysterious. It's somebody who is confusing. It's somebody who is confused about their feelings for you. And so there might be a mirroring energy where you're one day they're like very affectionate and the next they withdraw. And you're kind of confused as to, do they like me or do they not? Do they want to get together or do they not? And I feel like someone's feeling is very strong. It's overwhelming almost. It's overwhelming where, the first thing you wake up, you think about this person. The last thought on your mind is of this person right before you go to bed. So it's borderline obsession. I don't feel you have a lot of good cards here. And so I just don't feel like it's a bad person for you. I don't feel like there's toxicity, like just bad things. I just don't feel like an icky, yucky vibe from it. I just feel like something is very strong. It's very pure, but you're having trouble even verbalizing your feelings. You're having trouble making sense of it. And honestly, because of all the choices and the options and the whole concept of famine and I want it all, you might be in a situation where you want to, where you want multiple people. You might be dealing with multiple people. You might be dealing with somebody that you're married to, or, you're in a solid committed relationship with. And then there's somebody else that is really drawing your attention and capturing your imagination, right? And then I also feel like you might be, doing a lot of experimentation, like dating, finding out what works for you. And we're in this period where there are so many choices. Once again, 7 of Cups. And actually, there's a lobster here. And surrounding the lobster, not oysters, but snails. Okay, so I just feel like, you're in a period where there are so many options, where there are so many choices, where there are so many possibilities. And look at those shells. They're so pretty, different colors. And you're kind of like this lobster, trying to, look at your options, weigh out your options. And so I just feel like, it's definitely, there's no famine here. This is a period of time where there are so many options in love and romance, where the real challenge is figuring out what works for you. And as well, this is the shell depiction here, lots of choices, lots of option. And so you're in a period where you have a lot to choose from, and the temptation is really strong. You might have, the affinity towards multiple people. We have here the choices, the Lover's card. This is a very strong sexual energy. Okay, like it's a really strong physical connection with another person. It's like finding our counterpart, being able to, it's like feeling very, very strongly passionate, obsessed even, consumed with our emotions for another person, and it flows mutually. So I definitely don't think this is unrequited at all. I feel like it is very strong. And in some ways, I just feel like you're fighting yourself. You're fighting yourself about how you should react. 7 of Wands, okay? Holding yourself back. And I also feel like, your friends, your family members, the people who know you well might have, their opinions about this connection, about this person. And they might be telling you, what are you doing? Excuse me, they might be telling you, like, what are you doing? Why are you with this person? This is not a good match. Or, they have their opinions. Everyone has their opinions. You might be dating 2 people. And people are just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this to 2 people? Or you might be dating multiple people and you're okay with it because this is a period of feast for you. You understand what it means to, have gone through a period of famine and now you're in it. You just want to indulge. You want to get your hands dirty. You want to embrace life. You want to take up these opportunities because, you understand that it doesn't come every day. This is not, any time of the year, any time of the day. This is something very special. And so I feel like, if people are judging or if people are giving you, advice and you've never asked for it, it's like unsolicited advice. You're not going to give them the time of day. And so there is a partner here